Presenting before you my model named air purifier, also called smoke filter. Such purifiers are a requirement nowadays to clean air because air in our room is polluted with varieties of dust particles, some of which can cause respiratory diseases. Let's see how it works. The air enters from this opening and exits from here. In between, we have a filter to filter dust particles. We also can see the smoke is entering from here, filters in middle and gets purified. Let's see it from inside. I'll take this off. We have our filter pad which filters the dust particles. And we have the fan which sucks the air and gives filtered air from here. It is specifically designed like this to prevent the purified air to re-enter from here. Thank you.
My warm wishes to everyone. My name is Mehak and I'm from Standard 11th. I'm here to present before you my topic, Tune Mass Damper. Tune Mass Damper, also called vibration absorber, is a device mounted to a specific location in structures like tall buildings, skyscrapers, tall and slender freestanding structures so as to reduce the amplitude of vibration to an acceptable level whenever strong lateral forces such as an earthquake or high winds hit them. This device not only protects the buildings from outright structural failure but also the people inside it from the strong motions of winds and earthquakes. So I have constructed a model of a pendulum style tuned mass damper in a skyscraper. I have a string arrangement at the base that continuously bumps the structure which meets its resonant frequency just like an earthquake or a windy wind. The model comprises of a freely oscillating pendulum which is damped using a metallic solid mass, and the frame depicts the tower or the skyscraper structure. The benefit of this string arrangement here is that I can delineate the effect of an earthquake or strong winds causing mechanical vibrations to the structure in a somewhat repeatable fashion so that we can notice the effectiveness of the damper. A tuned mass damper, also known as a harmonic absorber or seismic damper, has a wide range of applications. Their applications can prevent discomfort, damage, or outright structural failure. They are frequently used in power transmission, wind turbines, automobiles, bridges, and buildings. Dampers are used in many famous structures and buildings. Even the Statue of Unity in Gujarat has a damper weighing nearly 400 metric tons. One of the best examples of TMD consisting building is Type A101. It is designed to withstand typhoon winds and earthquake tremors that are common in the area in the east of Taiwan. It has a 660 metric tons weighing steel pendulum that serves as a tuned mass damper, making it the largest damper in the world. Suspended from the 92nd to the 87th floor, the pendulum sways to offset the movements in the building caused by strong gusts. You can see the movement of the mass damper during Typhoon Saudalor, which swayed the main damper by nearly 1 meter. So now, getting back to our model. If we let the building sway without the damper, we can get a sense of how it would perform with only the building's own natural damping. We can see that the model experienced maximum amplitude. After knowing the natural frequency of the building, we can introduce the pendulum damper. On damping the pendulum, you can see a difference in the performance. You can see that there's an effective damping on the harmonic execution. Since the majority of the kinetic energy has already been dissipated by the damper, so the amplitude is much lower. Of course, the tuned mass damper doesn't completely eliminate the movement, but it can certainly make a difference. On comparing the two, the difference in the amplitude of displacement and oscillation is clearly visible. For the same magnitude of vibration, the amplitude of displacement of the two structures is completely different. Thus, the seismic waves caused by an earthquake will make the building sway and oscillate in various ways depending on many factors, and to enhance the building's seismic performance, a tuned mass damper is used to mitigate the seismic damage to the building. The force of wind against tall buildings can cause the top of the skyscrapers to move more than a meter. This motion can be in form of swaying or twisting and can cause the upper floors of such buildings to move and may lead to motion sickness in people. And to avoid all such problems and damages due to the mechanical vibration of the structure, a TMD can be tuned to a certain structure's or building's frequency to work efficiently. So this is my project on topic tuned mass dampers, its basic working, uses and various applications. Thank you.
Warm greetings to the audience. I am Shreya Gasodia from 11th A, Enel Dalmia High School, and I stand before you to present to you my project for the Nirmaan exhibition, an oil spot photometer, which we can use to determine the relative intensities of different sources of light. Here it is. The objective of this project is to construct a simple photometer to analyze the relative intensities of different sources of light. The materials that we've used are bulbs, extension cord, measuring tape, oil, paper holders, and bulb holders. The project is based on the principle of inverse square law of light, which states that the intensity of a light source is inversely proportional to the square of its distance from the observer. We have taken two bulbs and arranged them in the given manner, and we shall try to keep the paper at different points between the bulbs and find a point where the oil spot and the paper have the same color. It can be seen that away from the brighter bulb, the spot seems lighter than the paper, and near it, it seems darker. At this point, we can see that the paper has the same color throughout. We have measured the distance of the bulbs from the source, and the ratio of the intensities comes out to be 0.032. Hence, we can conclude that the intensity of bulb 2 is way greater than that of bulb 1.
Hello, my name is Tanya Jadhav and my project is bike turning signal circuit. Bike turning indicators, also known as blinkers or flashers, are an essential part of all automobiles, whether a bike or a car. They indicate other road users are intent to turn left or right. The objective of this circuit is to indicate the left turn or the right turn for a bike or any other vehicle. The heart of this circuit is the 555 timer IC, which acts as an astable multi-vibrator here. The astable multi-vibrator generates pulse signal of the variable width. Using this variable width, we can set time delays for the LEDs, that is on and off time for the components of the circuit are 180 ohm resistor, 100 kilo ohm resistor, 470 kilo ohm resistor, 2 LEDs, light emitting diodes, 2 diodes IM4007, 555 timer IC, jumper, breadboard, the connecting wires, and the SPDT switch, single pole double throw switch, and the capacitor and the 9 volt DC battery. The 555 timer IC acts as an astable multivibrator here. The circuit consists of the two important resistors, the 100 kilo ohm resistor and the 470 kilo ohm resistor, which are used to set the time delay. We can change the time delay for the LEDs by either changing the value of the capacitor or either inserting the potentiometer in place of any other resistor. The pin 3 of the triple timer IC acts as a output pin through which either of the two LEDs are connected. The 180 ohm resistor is used to drop the voltage to avoid the damage of the LED. This circuit, the pins 2 and 6 of the 555 timer IC are shorted to allow the triggering of every timing cycle. The pin 4, which is the reset pin, is shorted with the pin 8 to avoid the sudden reset of the 555 timer IC. The pin 7 is the discharging pin, and the capacitor discharges to the resistor 470 kilo ohm, which is connected to the pin 6. The 555 timer IC consists of the two operational amplifiers, which are used as comparators, which are responsible for the output of the flip-flops and the operation of transistors in on or off state. The circuit is connected, the voltage of the capacitor is 0, hence the output of the flip-flop is high, which in turn cuts off the NPN transistor. The capacitor C charges through the resistors RA 100 kilo ohm and resistor RB 470 kilo ohm. When the capacitor value reaches up to 2/3 BCC, the flip-flop resets, which in turn turns on the NPN transistor. The capacitor C discharges through the resistor RB. The total time for the pulse is 0.693 into RA plus R2 RB into the value of the capacitor C. Here the RA is the 100 kilo ohm and the resistor RB is the 470 kilo ohm. The total time generated for the pulse is the total time for which both the LEDs are on and off. The duty cycle, which is the time for which the LEDs are on, is calculated as the R plus RB upon 2A RA plus RB into 100. The frequency of the pulse is calculated as 1 upon T is equal to 1 upon RA plus 2 RB into C. The obtained pulse is applied to the LEDs through the SPDT switch, which in turn is used to turn the LEDs on and off with some delay. The operating voltage of the LEDs is 2 to 3 volts. Hence, we connect the 180 ohm resistor in series with the LEDs to drop the voltage to further avoid the damage of the LEDs. Initially, feed the 9 volt DC battery. When we slide the switch to the right, we observe that the right LEDs blink, and when we slide the switch to the left LEDs will start to blink with some delay. So that was my project, bike turning signal circuit. Thank you.
Today, I am Nishita from 11th A is going to talk about my topic, which is about a lemon battery and how it's going to be used to light an LED, and will be explaining about the science behind the lemon battery. Before I talk about my topic, I would like to tell you about what a battery is. A battery is a device which converts chemical energy in it to electrical energy. It is made up of one or more electrochemical cells, which are in turn made up of two electrodes and separated by an electrolyte. Alexandro Volta was the first person to be credited to be able to make an electrochemical cell, which he made using a zinc and copper as his electrodes and salt water or sulfuric acid as his electrolyte. So here I'll be using 3 lemons. The citric acid in the lemon will be used as the electrolyte. I'll be using copper wire taken from a copper wire, taking out the insulation, and be using it as a positive electrode. The zinc, which I've taken from a used cell, will be used as the negative electrode, and I'm using copper wires to connect these positive and negative electrodes. I'll be using an LED to show how if it works, and I'll be using a multimeter to check the voltage. Now here I have made the lemon battery and I've connected in series. The positive electrode of one cell is connected to the negative electrode of the other cell, and now I'm going to check the voltage by using my multimeter and see how much the voltage is. As you have seen, the lemon battery is 5.3 volts. So now I'm going to connect it to a LED light and see if it glows. As you know, when a battery is connected to a circuit, the chemical energy converts into electrical energy. And so now I'm going to explain about the redox reaction that happens in a lemon battery. Zinc being more reactive than copper, loses more electrons easily than copper. Therefore, it is used as the anode or the negative electrode, whereas the copper is used as the positive electrode or the cathode. When all the connections are made in the circuit, at the anode, the zinc loses 2 electrons and enters the electrolyte as Zn2 plus ions, and this reaction is the oxidation reaction. At the cathode, 2 positively charged hydrogen ions from the electrolyte combine with the 2 electrons that have reached the copper cathode and forms hydrogen molecules. This is the reduction reaction. The hydrogen formed at the copper cathode is ultimately released as hydrogen gas. The battery lasts as long as the electrodes are intact and the electrolyte is present. Thank you.
A very good day. Today, my topic for the exhibition is a nuclear battery. A nuclear battery, or also known as an atomic battery, is a device which converts the energy from the decay of radioactive isotopes to usable and refined electricity. Almost similar to a nuclear reactor, these batteries form electricity from nuclear energy, with the only difference being is that they do not do so by chain reaction. Instead, the non-thermal converters extract energy directly from the emitted radiation before its degradation to heat. The type of radiation particles needed for this conversion and production of electricity are alpha and beta. Atomic batteries use radioisotopes that produce low energy beta particles or sometimes alpha particles of varying energies. Thus, nickel-63 and plutonium-238 are 2 examples of the handful number of radioisotopes that can be used in an atomic battery. By non-thermal conversion, the energy is extracted from the particles. Their charge builds up, forming electrostatic energy, which is then converted to normal electricity via simple electromechanical conversion. Diamond diodes are at the heart of a nuclear battery. Scientists have made one that achieves a power of 3,300 megawatts, roughly 10 times more than any other commercial chemical cell. These batteries have a long life. A simple 6mm nuclear battery is said to last for near 100 years. They have high energy density but cannot be recharged and are way more expensive than normal batteries. Because of its long life, these batteries are used in equipment that requires long and unattended sources of electricity, such as spacecrafts, pacemakers, and automated scientific laboratories. But with the progress of engineering and other scientific industries, soon these batteries may be used in every device surrounding us daily if certain processes are taken care of, such as shielding of the surrounding areas from the radiation and the risks of unstable decay. Thus, these batteries may very well become the next heavily commercialized source of direct electricity. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Angad Singh Hundak from 11th A, and today I am going to be explaining about my model maglev train. Now, transportation is an integral part of our life. We use trains, buses, planes to move from one place to another. Transportation is regarded as a major milestone in the field of science. However, moving a step further in technology, we have the maglev train. Maglev is derived from the word magnetic levitating train, and as the name suggests, it uses 2 sets of magnets to move across the track. Now let us revise the general properties of a magnet. A magnet has 2 poles. Similar poles repel, whereas opposite poles attract. Now a maglev train uses 2 sets of similar poles on the train as well as on the track. So when the train is placed on the track, it moves effortlessly without any friction. Now there is no rolling friction in the maglev train. Now what is rolling friction? Rolling friction is the friction or the resistance that is offered by the track to the wheels of a train. However, in a maglev train, there are no wheels, and therefore there is no rolling friction. Now a maglev train is able to travel at greater speeds due to the absence of friction. In real life scenarios, instead of magnet, superconductors are used in the maglev train. Now you may ask yourself, what is a superconductor? Well, a superconductor is a magnet which is cooled well below its critical temperature, which changes its properties. The properties of a superconductor are that it has zero resistance and it does not have any poles. So when a superconductor is placed in a magnetic field, it remains suspended in the air, and due to zero resistance, when pushed, it moves effortlessly all across the track. Now, a maglev train is considered to be more advantageous than a conventional train. We may understand it by comparing it with the conventional train in the following matters. First, speed. Due to absence of friction, maglev train is able to travel at a very greater speeds than the conventional train. Second, maintenance. Due to zero parts of surface of contact between the train and the track, there is no need for maintenance. And third, most importantly, we have energy efficiency. Now a maglev train uses electromagnets to stop and to start, and therefore it does not require lots of energy. Also, there is no energy required to overcome the friction. Therefore, it is able to travel at double the distance and at half the energy than a conventional train. Now, maglev trains are available only in Japan, South Korea, and China. However, many countries such as Germany, Russia, and America are proposing a maglev train. Indian government is also proposing a maglev train traveling from Mumbai to Delhi and Mumbai to Kolkata. Now, I may explain to you the working of my model over here. Now in this model, I have used north and north pole on the train as well as on the track. So when I place the train on the track, it gets repelled and therefore it appears to be levitating. Now due to absence of rolling friction, the train is able to travel at greater speeds. Also, there are guidelines to prevent the train from getting derailed. I believe maglev trains are the future of technology because of the features like energy efficiency, the ability to travel at a greater speed and pollutionless. And in the future, you may not be surprised to find yourself traveling in a maglev train as well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sujatha. I study in Anand Dalmia High School, grade 11th, Division A. And this is my model. It's an automatic night lamp using a transistor, or as you can say, an automatic dark sensor. This dark sensor circuit, the basic idea about this is that it glows when there is darkness. Yes, the LED here will glow when there is darkness. It detects darkness and light, and when there is light, this LDR would detect it and the light would go off. This is the model. This down there is a breadboard, an LED light, down here a 100k ohm resistor, an NPN transistor, this is an LDR, this right here is a connecting wire, and a 9-volt battery. There is a bit of darkness in this room, so I'll connect it, and here we go, it glows. Now to prove that this actually works, that when the LDR right here detects light, this LED would turn off. So let me show it to you. Here we go. As you can clearly make out. For you to understand it better or clearly show you, I'm just putting a cap onto it so that you can clearly make out that the light goes off. Here we go. As you can see, the light goes off and now it glows. To show you once again, here we go, the light goes off and now it's glowing. So this is the basic ideology of this model. This was a model. This would be helpful in today's time as well as in the future. In the street lights, it can be used for the workers who do their job 24/7 in the darkness as well, and in some security system as well. As you can see nowadays, automatic lights have been installed in many of the people's houses. So thank you very much. I hope you liked it.
Everyone, my name is Ankit Singh. I currently study in class 11A Science Section in NL Dalmia High School. And today through this video, I want to show you my project which I prepared for Nirmaan 2020. So my project is basically a Java code or a Java program as you may call it. which is about a clothing store, and I prepared it using BlueJ, which is basically an integrated development platform which allows you to compile and execute Java codes and programs. So I'll just show you my code in a gist, and I'll brief you about my code, and I'll execute the program and show you the output as well. So this is my project right here. I'll click on it and first show you the code. So this is my code over here. It's a very long code, so I won't be able to brief you about everything. So I have initialized the variables over here, input Java class, and if you have data about a statement, then over here on the right side using bracket statement, I have described every function, so you can read them, and it says what's the need of that particular statement or the meaning of that particular statement. So there are different options over here. There's women's wear, there's men's wear, there's a surprise section, kids wear, accessories and shoes. So this is the entire code. I'll just scroll through the code. What this program does is basically it generates your bill based on your preferences. First it provides you with various options, and then based on your choice and preferences it generates your bill after calculating all the discounts and stuff. So this is basically the code, long code. It says end of function shoes, end of program. I have used different function for every section. For example, shoes has a different function, men will have a different function, women will have a different function. Now let me just compile. I have already compiled the code, so now I'm just going to execute and show the output. So this is the output. As you can see, this says welcome to West Side clothing store where all your needs are fulfilled. I've got 6 options over here as you already saw in the code: women's, men's, surprise, kids, accessories, and shoes. I'll go for number 2, which is menswear. I'll type in number 2 in the dialog box. As you can see over here, you can type using your keyboard. This is number 2. Okay, under men's section, I have an umbrella of choices. I've got ethnic, this casual, formal, western party. I'll go for number 3, which is formal wear. Under formal wear, it says there are again different options with different sizes: the small, medium, large, extra large. I'll go for number 4, which is tuxedos. Okay, so it says my cost is rupees 3,999, but after discount it's rupees 2,999.25. Now if I want to stop, I just have to type stop in the dialog box right here, but since I want to continue shopping, I can type anything else. So after typing any random alphabet, it brings me back over here. So I can go to the shoe section now, number 6. Type 6, it brings you over here. There's 2 options, there's men and there's women. Pretty simple. I'll go number 1, men's. So under men's, it has first choice for normal running or Converse shoes. There's for boots, sandals, leather boots. I'll go for number 4, which is leather boots. Okay, so it says cost for my choice is rupees 4,000. Please type stop again if I want to stop, but since I want to continue, I'll type in anything else. I'll type in, brings me back to the original section. So I'll go to accessories this time, number 5. So this is the accessories section. I've got cosmetic, belts, bangles, chains, hairbands and ties. Since I want to buy a tie, I'll go to number 6. Okay, so it says there's a 2% discount on my tie of rupees 175. I'll get it for 171.5. So now that I'm done shopping, I'll type stop, STOP, and enter it. So now you see it generated my bill. It says serial number over here. There's the item name, this cost of the item, and this is the item over here, and cost on the right side. The total amount to be paid is given over here. And since there are no customers, I'll just type in no. If there are multiple customers, you can just type in yes, and then you can do shopping with multiple customers, and they'll print separate bills for everyone. Right now I'll type in no, and that's it. Thank you for shopping with us. I hope you like it. Thank you.
Greetings to all. I am Ryan Shibur from Standard 11, and I am presenting my project Arcadia Game Zone, which is based on a video game console. So this is the BlueJ project in which the entire Arcadia game console code is stored. So the console consists a total of 20 games. I've used BlueJ IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment, to execute the program. This is the main class of the Arcadia console, about which the entire output terminal revolves. So getting back to our Arcadia console, this is the user interface of the console. I've used escape sequences such as form, feed, and delay functions in this interface. Various packages such as Java Swing, Net, AWT, that is the abstract window toolkit, and utility packages have been used. So this is our first game, Pacman. This is the adaptation of the famous arcade game Pacman in BlueJ. So all the snippets of the gameplay have been fast forward. This is the copter game made in using Java panel and JFrame, and of course the mouse listener for the movements of the assets. This is the Minesweeper game, which is basically found in all Windows XP and DOS operating systems. So moving forward, the Space Invaders game. This is the adaptation of the famous arcade game Space Invaders in Java. So this is a snippet of the gameplay of the chess game. This is made in JRE, that is the Java Runtime Environment. So moving on to the next game, that is Fix It Felix. That is an application game, that is .exe. So the gameplay has been fast forward, as you can see. So this is the Clumsy Bird game, the adaptation of the arcade game Flappy Bird, made using HTML5 and JavaScript. So due to time constraints, we are stopping our Arcadia simulation for now. Moving on to the gameplays of the remaining games. This is the Duck Hunt game.
Bark! Hey, there's ducks over here! Bang, bang, thud. Bang, thud, bang, bang.
All the controls are through the mouse.
Bang, thud.
So this is the Big Breaker game, the adaptation of the arcade game Breakout. This is made in Java using JFrame and JPanel. For every Java game, such as even the Snake game, GUIs such as JFrames, JPanel, and other classes have been used. This is the Snake game. So this is the Tetris game made in HTML5 and JavaScript. So you earn a point on completing a line, and it's game over when you top it out. And this is the Car Crash Chase game, a basic car game made in Java. So this is a Japanese arcade game, Sokoban. So you win the game on finishing the riddle. Don't Crash is a basic car game made using HTML5 animations and JavaScript. You have to avoid the two cars from colliding. So this is the Bomberman game. Moving on to the next game, that is Donkey Kong. So this is our last and final game, the adaptation of the famous game Mario in HTML5 and JavaScript. So this is my project, Arcadia Game Zone, based on a video game console. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Shreya Ojha of class 11th A, Science Computer Stream. This is my project based on two-wheeler automobile showroom. In this, I've made 7 classes along with showroom, display, bike, bike display, scooter, scooter display, and bill. In the showroom class, this is the default or the main. This is the output of the program, starting with a warm welcome to the Ojha showroom, giving a choice between motorbike or scooty, entering a choice bike. These are some of the recommendations of best mileage, great speed, or cost efficient. Great speed, loading, these are some of the recommendations for great speed bikes. The bike companies available in my showroom: Hero MotoCorp, Honda, TVS, Bajaj, Yamaha, Suzuki, Royal Enfield, Ducati, Kawasaki, KTM. Kindly enter the company number that you wish to buy from. Bajaj. Loading. This is the Bajaj bike model that has been offered by my showroom. The models from this company available in my showroom are Bajaj V, Bajaj Avenger, Pulsar, Discover, CT, Platina, and Pulsar AS200. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Kindly enter the model number that you wish to buy. Bajaj Platina. These are some of the specifications of Bajaj Platina 100 with the cost price. Kindly choose the number of color of your bike. Ebony black. Do you wish to proceed to make the bill? Yes. Proceeding to bill. Loading. This is something interesting I've kept in my program. That is, I've kept a lucky draw for the customers who purchase from my showroom. If they can guess a random 7-digit code out of the 25 7-digit codes I've made, they get a 20% off on their bike. But they have only one chance, and if they fail to guess, they will have to pay 5% extra. This is a really dangerous risk. Do I like to continue? Yes. Guess one out of 25 7-digits lucky code and get extra 20% off. I would like to give it a shot. Congratulations, you have earned 20% discount. These are the user details. Contact number, district, PIN code. Would I like to make the payment in cash, check, or an EMI? I like to give an EMI. The down payment offered by my showroom is 10,000, and these are some of the banks with their interest rates. I'd like to take an EMI from SBI Bank. My account number, the EMI per month is 1,544, and this is the bill. Thank you.
My name is Ashna Paul and I am from class 11th A, and my topic is Impressionism painting of A Woman in a Garden by Claude Monet. Impressionism is a 19th century art movement characterized by relatively small, thin yet visible brush strokes, open composition, emphasis on accurate depiction of light in its changing qualities, often accentuating the effects of the passage of time. Ordinary subject matter, inclusion of movement as a crucial element of human perception and experience, and unusual visual angles. Impressionism originated with a group of Paris-based artists whose independent exhibitions brought them to prominence during the 1780s and 1880s. A number of identifiable techniques and working habits contributed to the innovative style of the Impressionists. Although these methods had been used by previous artists and are often constituting the work of artists such as Franz Hales, Peter Paul Rubens, John Constable, and J.M.W. Turner, the Impressionists were the first to use them all together and with such consistency. These techniques include short, thick strokes of paint quickly capture the essence of the subject rather than its details. Colors are applied side by side with little merging as possible, a technique that exploits the principles of simultaneous contrast to make the color appear more vivid to the viewers. Grey and dark tones are produced by mixing complementary colors. Pure Impressionism avoids the use of black color. Wet paint is placed into wet paint without waiting for the successive applications to dry, producing softer edges and intermerging of colors. Impressionist painting do not exploit the transparency of thin paint films, which earlier artists manipulated carefully to produce effects. The Impressionist painting surface is typically opaque. The paint is applied to a white or light colored ground. Previously, painters often used dark color or strongly colored grounds. Instead of painting in a studio, the Impressionists found that they could capture the momentary and front of their subjects in the open air rather than in a studio. This resulted in a greater awareness of light and color and the shifting pattern of natural scene. Brushwork became rapid and broken into several dabs in order to render the fleeting quality of light. Woman in the Garden is an oil painting which began in 1866 by French artist Claude Monet when he was 26. It is a large work painted in plein air. The size of the canvas necessitated Monet painting its upper half with the canvas lowered into a trench he had dug so that he could maintain a single point of view for the entire work. The setting is the garden of a property he was renting. His companion and future wife, Camille Donsiox, posed for the figures. Monet finished the work indoors and used magazine illustrations to render fashionable clothing. The dimensions of the canvas are 255 cm, 100 inches and 205 cm, 81 inches. The location was Musée d'Orléans in France. Monet, at this early age in his career, experimenting with method and subject matter. His earlier painting was successful at Paris salons, but Woman in the Garden was rejected in 1867 on the grounds of subject and narrative weakness.
Greetings to all present here. My name is Supreet Kaur and I am from 11th A. I am here to present my painting that depicts various phases of life. There are various categories of art. Painting is a type of art that one uses to express themselves in ways that words have. Once rightly said by Danny Kaye, and I quote, "Life is a great big canvas. Throw all the paint you can on it." Every painting has a story behind it. You just have to look carefully. Let's look at this painting and the story behind it. This painting is done on a canvas with fabric colors. The first block depicts a boy and a girl running together in a field. This shows their free spirit. The tree symbolizes various parts of a life. Not only do humans get old, but all of the nature. The radiant color of the balloons show the free will of the children to fly up high in the sky without any stress of the future. The second block depicts a man and a woman standing together, ready to take the vows of marriage. They have successfully come through half of their lives and are now ready to stay together. The tree above them is full of bright flowers. It shows the prosperity in their lives. The third block shows a complete family, a man, a woman, and their child. The third stage of life, the parenting stage. The vibrant colors in this phase show the happiness of their life. This part depicts that the real happiness we get is from our family. The tree is full of flowers, which shows that it is on its peak of prosperity. Finally, the fourth part depicts the fall. The man and woman have acquired all they needed in life. They have crossed through all the stages of life and now are old. Even the tree is having a fall of flowers that depicts that everything that has started will end one day. The poem Banker Sellers by Sarojini Naidu also depicted various phases of a woman's life, and this painting is somewhat similar to that. Finally, I would like to thank you all for being present here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melina and Santosh and I'm from class 11A. Today I'll be talking about Emily Dickinson, a secluded poet. We'll start with the early life, seclusion, influences, inspiration, later years, and one of her famous poetries. First, we'll begin with the early life. She was born on December 10, 1830 in Amherst, Massachusetts. Her father's name was Edward and her mother's name was Emily Norina. She lived with her brother Austin and sister Lavinia. She was raised to be a Christian, but she did not go to church until she was in her late 30s. She also was stopped from getting an education, but yet she graduated from Amherst Academy College and also attended a year in Mount Holyoke. Seclusion. Emily Dickinson was very shy, and this led to a discomfort talking to different people around her. And by her late 20s, she almost led a completely secluded life. She mainly wrote her poems on nature, religion, love, individuality. It is said that she secluded herself to remove the poet that was in her, and her poems are basically based on experiences. Influence. She was heavily influenced by the metaphysical poets of the 17th century and also reading the book of Revelation from the Bible and the people's conservative approach to Christianity. It is also said that one of her favorite poets were Elizabeth and Robert Barrett Browning. Now let's take a look at her inspirations. Emily did what she believed in, and this led to people believing in her and believing what she did was right. She also fought and taught herself how to read and write when women were not supposed to. Her poems are basically on the theme of nature and individuality. Her later years. Emily did not marry anyone and she died alone. She died on March 10, 1886. She suffered from Bright's disease. After her death, her sister found 2,000 poems written by her, and she decided to publish them. And when people read them, they loved it. And while Emily was alive, it was said that people would not love a poem, and so she never published them. Now let's take a look in one of her famous poems. Hope is a thing with feathers. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. The sweetest in the gale is heard, and so must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. And this were her last words. I must go in, the fog is rising. I hope you liked my project and thank you for watching.
Graves at my command have awaked their sleepers, opened and let him fall by my so potent art. These lines are spoken by Prospero, one of the several characters created by William Shakespeare. Prospero is the principal protagonist of the play The Tempest, which is believed to be the last one ever written by Shakespeare. In the play, Shakespeare makes the use of a storm or a tempest to isolate the characters from their environment and the people they know in order to better reflect on their actions, their relationships, and their behavior. Hence, the title The Tempest not only refers to the physical storm which causes these characters to separate, but also to the turbulent relationships and the troublesome passions of these characters. The play revolves around the story of Prospero, the principal protagonist. Prospero was the rightful Duke of Milan and was revered by the citizens of both his Duchy of Milan as well as the neighboring principalities. He was well known for his dignity. He was a keen student in the liberal arts of magic and sorcery, which kept him occupied for days and days together. In order to prevent his land from being led into anarchy, he appointed his brother Antonio as a regent. Antonio gradually learnt and became proficient in the daily business of the royal court, and then began influencing the ministers and other courtiers against Prospero. Having once taken firm control of the administration by himself, he banished Prospero and his daughter Miranda from Milan. Prospero fled from Milan in a ramshackle old boat and landed on a mysterious island. Learning of this sad and troublesome story, we feel pity for Prospero, but his treatment of Caliban and Ariel tell us a completely different story. Ariel was in the service of Sycorax, who was also the mother of Caliban and the ruler of the mysterious island. She was a dreadful witch. Once Ariel disobeyed some of her disgusting commands and in punishment was trapped in a split pine tree. When Prospero heard Ariel's cries for help, using his magic, he liberated Ariel from the pine tree, and in return for this favor, kept Ariel as his own servant, promising him of freedom if he worked well. But in reality, Prospero never liberated Ariel. When Ariel asked for freedom, he simply declined, and if Ariel was persistent, he threatened of punishment, just as Sycorax had. Coming to Caliban, Caliban was the son of Sycorax and the devil himself. He had made Prospero's life on the island a bit easier by showing him the fertile fields and the lakes and the freshwater springs on the island. And in return, Prospero treated him as his own son and looked after him. But once, in the heat of passion, he tried to rape Miranda, which greatly enraged Prospero. And from then on, he treated Caliban like a slave and tortured him. From these incidents, we think that Prospero is such a tyrant, but in the end, when the people who conspired against him, including his brother, realize their faults, he forgives them. So, is Prospero a kind-hearted angel, or is he a devil, a tyrant? Looking at the circumstances, I feel he is both. Just like any other person, he has his own faults and strengths. Thank you.
Pleasant greetings to all. I extend my warm welcome to all the viewers of Exhibition of Science, Art and Creativity, Nirmaan. My name is Melania Illusion. I hail from Humanities Section of Melania High School, Class 11th D. We know how a light stimulus that enters our eye is processed and routed to the brain. The question still remains as to how we actually perceive what we see. Do we just perceive whatever is being projected on our retina, or is it more to perception? Does our knowledge and other rules we have learned throughout our life maybe influence our perception of the world? In our views out of the window, the image on our retina suggests that the building we see in the distance are very small. However, we do see other buildings, trees and streets in front of them that suggests that those buildings are in fact quite large and just appear small because they are far away from our office. In this case, our experience and knowledge about perception and the world allows us to perceive those buildings as tall ones even though they do not look larger than does our hands in front of our desk. There are different views on how we perceive the world. These views can be summarized as bottom-up theories and top-down theories. Bottom-up theories describe approaches where perception starts with the stimuli whose appearance you take in through your eyes. You look out onto the cityscape and perception happens when the light information is transported to your brain. Therefore, they are data-driven, that is, stimulus-driven theories. Top-down theories according to which a perception is driven by high-level cognitive process, existing knowledge and the prior expectations that influences perception. These theories then work their way down to considering the sensory data, such as the perpetual stimulus. You perceive buildings as big in the background of the city scene because you know these buildings are far. In this work of art, I am illustrating the working of the bottom-up process of the illusion. Here you can see two drawings of the same landscape but of different colors. Here the stimulus color is varying, which leads to the differences of perception of the overall drawings too. The color of the lighter hues used would evoke a more positive emotion in the viewers, probably leading to a perception of a pleasant explanation of what is going on in the picture. The colors on the darker hues, on the other hand, will evoke a less pleasant feeling with perhaps more sinister conclusion about what is in the picture about. The bottom-up theories which would explain this perception would be feature matching theories. According to these theories, we attempt to match feature of a pattern of a feature stored in our memory. One such feature matching model which we want to use in our drawings has been called pandemonium. Pandemonium refers to a very noisy, chaotic place. Proposed by Oliver Selfridge in 1959, the theory talks about metamorphical demons with specific duties to receive and analyze the feature of a stimuli. There are four kinds of demons: image demon, feature demon, cognitive demons, and decision demons. The image demon receives a retinal image. In our case, the retinal image is created by the light rays coming from these drawings and pass it on to the feature demon. Each feature demon calls out when there are matches between the stimulus and the given feature. While seeing these drawings, the feature demon are probably calling out the color names red, blue, grey, and names of the object like house, trees, and crows. These matches are yelled out at the demons at the next level of the hierarchy, the cognitive or the thinking demons. The cognitive demons in turn shouts out possible patterns stored in the memory that conform to one or more of the features noticed by the feature demons. Things like a sunny day, an outcoming storm, riding happily ever after into the sunset, house of a mysterious magicians, and finally a decision demon listens to the pandemonium of the cognitive demons. It decides on what has been seen based on what cognitive demons shouting the most frequently, that is, which has the most matching features, and finally voila! It results in whatever you have finally seen in it. Now, just to tease our demons a bit, I have added this element here with the road with features which has probably into a pandemonium which still may not have gotten resolved, where this road which should have gone on parallelly on the ground, a slight change in the angle will make it appear to go upwards, and as the last element to add on the pandemonium, thus the name of the illustration of our four demons to shout out a road to heaven. Thank you.
Pleasant greetings to all. I extend my warm welcome to all the viewers of this exhibition of Science, Art and Creativity, Nirmaan. I am Miss Priyanshi Shahi. I hail from the Humanities section of NL Dalmia High School 11D. I have chosen to exhibit my topic, Night of Illusions, using my skills and creativity. Perception helps us make sense of the confusing stimuli that we perceive in the world. One way to bring order and coherence into our perception is our ability to group similar things. This way we can lessen the number of things that need to be processed. We can also better decide which things belong together or to the same object. In other words, we organize objects in a visual array into coherent groups. The Gestalt approach to form perception that was developed in Germany in the early 20th century is useful, particularly for understanding how we perceive groups of objects or even parts of objects to form integral wholes. It was founded by Kurt Kofka, Wolfgang Kohler, and Max Weidmann, and was based on the notion that the whole differs from the sum of its individual parts. The principles of form perception are remarkably simple, yet they characterize much of our perceptual organization. Interestingly, the principles appear to apply only to humans and not to other primates. In this art collection called the Night of Illusions, the particular artwork here illustrates the concept of figure ground, what stands out from versus what recedes into the background. You will probably first notice some mountains under moonlight with a young lady standing next to some train tracks, looking towards the mountains and the sky pensively. But if you shift your perspective, the young lady grows old. The skies turn into a mysterious heavenly figure, both looking at the tracks with an object in the middle, which seems smaller than the other wooden beams on the tracks. But in reality, this object is the same size as the wooden beam here. What is play here, which makes us misjudge the length of the beam, is the Ponzo illusion. The Ponzo illusion is an optical illusion where a pair of converging lines distorts the perception of two identically sized lines. The Ponzo illusion was first published by the Italian psychologist Mario Ponzo in 1913. Ponzo put forward that the human mind judges an object's size based on its background, and illustrated this idea by drawing two identical lines across a pair of converging lines. Our second artwork in the Night of Illusions collection combines the idea of figure ground with the concept of depth perception. Depth is the distance from a surface, usually using our own body as a reference surface when speaking in terms of depth perception. This use of depth information extends beyond the range of our body's reach. When you drive, you use depth to assess the distance of an approaching automobile. When you decide to call out to a friend walking down the road, you establish how loudly to call. Your decision is based on how far away you perceive your friend to be. How do you manage to perceive 3D space when the proximal stimuli on your retinas comprise only a 2D projection of what you see? You have to rely on depth cues. In one of the cues of depth perception, namely linear perspective, parallel lines seem to diverge as they move away from the horizon, and parallel lines seem to converge as they approach the horizon. Here, due to linear perspective, We can see a green hedge moving away from us due to converging lines looking like parallel lines moving away when looked from the corner of a wall. But if you shift your perspective, it can look like a tunnel with green walls within. A difference in perception of which edge of the wall is close to us and which is far away in either versions of this picture could be owed to the Melania Illusion. This illusion is named after its creator, Franz Karl Malleyer, a German psychiatrist and sociologist who first published the illusion in his Physiology journal in 1889. The Malleyer illusion is one among a number of illusions where a central aspect of a simple line image, example the length, straightness, or parallelism of lines appears distorted in virtue of other aspects of the image, example other background, foreground lines, or other intersecting shapes. The tunnels in the hedges figuratively lead us to a final artwork in this night of illusion, thus cityscape with a wonderful meteor shower. While the people living in the homes whose windows we see here make wishes to the falling star, a more distant observer will see another illusion afoot, the Poggendorf's illusion. The Poggendorf's illusion is a geometrical optical illusion that involves the misperception of the position of one segment of a transverse line that has been interrupted by the contour of an intervening structure. It is named after Johann Christian Poggendorf, the editor of the journal who discovered it in the figures Johann Carl Friedrich Zollner submitted when first reporting on what is now known as the Zollner illusion in 1860. If you look at these two meteors, the one whose trajectory emerges from beyond the buildings, the emerging trajectory could belong to either one of the two meteors. I am sure you allow me this pun, wish to know and you can know if you just use a ruler. But we shall end my presentation keeping with the spirit of this night of illusions, with the answer remaining a mystery. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My topic for this Nirmaan exhibition is Eras of Indian economy, which means different phases of Indian economy. My main motive to exhibit this model is to show the Indian growth from the time of industrialization till the current pandemic situation. I have shown this model in a train-like structure. Firstly, the engine contains the topic of the model and the subtopics of the same. First compartment contains industrialization in 1956, which is development of industries in regional areas. The other half of the first compartment contains green revolution in 1960s, which is mainly technology transfer activity, which mainly focused on agricultural production worldwide. Secondly, my second compartment shows new economic policy, which was introduced by Dr. Manmohan Singh ji. This policy opened doors of Indian economy for global exposure. This policy was announced on July 24, 1991. New economic policy is also known as LPG, or liberalization, privatization and globalization, which means reduction of taxes, transfer of ownership from government to private sectors, and expansion of economic activities across political boundaries respectively. India after 2014. Firstly, the economic growth during the Modi years has been faster in comparison to the growth during the Manmohan Singh years. Modi government announced various policies and programs for the betterment of the country, like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Digital India, policies like Jan Dhan Yojana and Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. But there are some programs for the economic growth of a country, like demonetization on 8th November 2016, which was the withdrawal of 500 and 1000 rupee notes, aiming at dealing with death blow to the black economy by reducing their uses. GST, goods and service taxes. This was the second bold step taken by Modi government in July 2017, aiming at creating common market in India for opposing many different sales taxes. Thirdly, unemployment in India. There was gradual decrease in unemployment. Unemployment rose to a 45-year high. In 2014, the unemployment rate was 5.61%. In 2015, it was 5.57%. In 2016, it was 5.51%. And in 2017, it was 5.42%. Current India. During this pandemic situation, we have faced many challenges like lockdown of 21 days, opening of quarantine centers, etc. programs announced by Modi ji like Atmanirbhar Bharat on 12th May, which mainly focused on economic self-reliance. Economic package. India's overall economic package was announced as 20 lakh crore rupees, and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharamanji for 5 days held press conference in which division of economic package was explained. Change in FDI policy. On 18th April 2020, India changed its foreign direct investment policy to curb opportunistic takeover and acquisitions of Indian companies. Dream India. India of my dreams progresses at an even greater pace and joins the list of developed countries. Dream India, where every citizen is educated and able to find a deserving employment opportunity. There should be no poverty. India should be one of the leading countries. Economic activity such as production, carrying to halt and flows drying up elsewhere, India should present itself as the most viable destination for global companies. Last but not the least, Nirmaan. I want to connect our Nirmaan exhibition with Indian economy. Our country, India, has made latest inventions in every category, like Arogya Setu app, contactless sanitizer dispenser, cash transactions in a broader way, remote control trolley, development or coronavirus tracker, India introduction of drone fighters, setup of chain of 20 lakh retail shops called Suraksha Stone across India. I would like to conclude by saying that we should make a dream India. India should provide employment to other countries so as our Indian talents will remain with us and people across country should come to India looking for a job.
Everyone, my name is Supriya Sanan and I'm from 11C. My topic is innovative entrepreneurship. So, what is innovative entrepreneurship? An innovative entrepreneur is a person who innovates the business processes in his business. Innovation is the specific tool of entrepreneurs by which they exploit change as an opportunity for a different business or a different service. So, cosmetic market share. Cosmetics market, makeup or beauty products are mixture of chemical generally used to enhance appearance or odor of the human body. Sun care, skin care, hair care, deodorants, makeup and color cosmetics and fragrances are some of the cosmetic products that are predominantly available and used by individuals. Retail stores including supermarket, exclusive brand outlets and specialty stores amongst the other are major distribution channels, with online channels gaining popularity among consumers. There is a considerable rise in disposable incomes over the past decades. The growth in global economics, changing lifestyle, rising demand of skin and sun care products due to varying climatic conditions encourages the growth of market for cosmetics. Rising demand for natural, herbal and organic beauty product creates potential opportunity for manufacturers to innovate and develop new product in accordance to consumer preferences. Next is comparison between homemade product and brand product. First is quality. Quality is a key when it comes to anything that you put inside and outside your body. Not all things available to use are created equal. For example, raw organic manuka honey is very different from the usual honey. If you're using regular honey in your DIY recipes that aren't raw and organic, you aren't getting any of the benefits of honey because those are lost in the heating process. So essentially your DIY honey mask won't be doing anything on your skin. Even worse, you could be putting toxic chemicals that are present in the substance on your skin. Whereas in homemade products, we procure the highest quality ingredients for our products and follow a strict procedure to make sure that what we are using is natural and organic. This makes our product not only unique and safe but also effective, as you are getting all the benefits of ingredients is the best quality. Second point is formulation and consistency. The major difference between a DIY recipe and a store-bought clean product is that the latter has been formulated to be effective, hygiene and stable. This ensures that you will get the same result and consistency every time. Another important point to note here is that when a product is formulated, it means that it has been specially made safe to use topically, which is why many products have to undergo process. Third point is stability. Clean beauty products also undergo stability tests to ensure the ingredients remain stable in various environments and do not react. All of these processes require professional expertise and measures. This is why clean beauty products tend to be a little more expensive than the usual, because not only you are getting the best quality natural ingredients, but you are getting them ready to use in the safest way. This doesn't mean DIY recipes are bad. We do like using them and swear by many DIY recipes for our hair, body and skin. But when doing so, you should always make sure that you are using the ingredients that can be used without formulation. And for the ones that are not, do it yourself appropriate. Invest in a good product. For that, you will see the results. This is brand products and these are homemade products. These are the brand products and the chemically made products. This is organic and this is homemade products. The products which I have made are lipstick, eyeliner and a face pack. So today I will show you how to make a lipstick. So the ingredients that are used to make a lipstick are aloe vera gel, face moisturizer, coconut oil or almond oil and food coloring. Now we have to put all of these in a jar or a bowl, and this is what the consistency will look like, and this is the end result. So this was it for my project. Thank you everyone.
Good morning, and my topic is production possibility curve. A production possibility curve measures the maximum output of two goods using the fixed amount of input. The input is any combination of the four factors of production: natural resources including land, labor, capital, goods and entrepreneurship. The manufacturing of most goods require a mix of all four. Each point on the curve shows how much of each good will be produced when resources shift from making more of one good, less of the other. Measures the trade-off between measuring one good versus another. So now I would like to present a video that explains about production possibility curve.
Production Possibility Curve, or PPC, is a graphical representation of maximum output of two products and the possible combination of these two goods with constant resources and technology. Look at this curve shown here, depicting the opportunity cost of choice. It shows that a country can produce either 80 units of manufactured goods or 75 units of agricultural goods, or a range combination of both the goods. If the country decides to produce 68 units of manufactured goods and it can only produce 35 units of agricultural goods. Now, if the country decides to produce 65 units of agricultural goods, but with the resources available, it can only produce 35 units of manufactured goods. Thus, here in this case, the opportunity cost of producing extra 30 units of agricultural goods is 33 units of manufactured goods.
Thank you so much.
My topic for Nirmaan exhibition is role of technology in education. There are countless reasons why technology is a key aspect of learning in the schools. Students are engaging with technology constantly outside of the classroom. Technology has the ability to enhance relationship between teachers and students. When teachers effectively integrate technology into subject areas, teachers grow into the role of advisor, content expert and coach. Technology helps making teaching and learning more meaningful. Modern technology is mostly seen as a blessing for the learners. The widespread use of mobile devices and the internet have made learning easier. Let us know about few advantages of technology in education. Independent learning has become easier and more effective. The internet can provide you with information in any field. No matter what you need to know, you can easily find that online. You can not only trust the data and the source, but you can still use them as educational resources. Students can use the internet without the assistance of their teachers or parents. New teaching methods are being developed. Thanks to the modern technology, new and effective teaching methods are being developed. Teachers and professors are now using different teaching methods such as social media, blogs, and podcasts. Many educational institutions are now using web conferencing technologies. Teachers are also using some universal tools to meet the needs of all types of students. Many learners have special needs, and it is no longer difficult to teach those students. Tools such as text-to-speech converter, voice recognition, volume control, and translator have made teaching and learning fun. Learning with technology is much more interesting. There was a time when students had very few tools for learning, but in this age of digital technology, learner can use a host of learning tools, including mobile device, computers, and other tools. They can find information on just about anything if they just know how to use the internet in a constructive way. Modern technology is not an unmixed blessing for students. The main allegation against digital devices is that these devices are making students lazy. Now we are going to discuss the disadvantage of modern technology. Lack of interest in hard work due to the unavailability of all type of information online. Many students are now becoming lazy. They no longer want to study the hard way. Some students even do not attend classes. They think that teachers are no longer necessary. Mobile devices, computers, and other technologies are usually seen as a tool of entertainment, not of education. Textbooks are known as just as tools for learning. We may not think a lot about the misuse of technology, but it's a major problem for students. Lastly, I would like to conclude, role of technology has a very positive impact on education and at the same time may also pose negative effects. Teachers and students should take advantage of this in the good light and eliminate the drawbacks which are pulling back many of the students as well as schools from achieving excellence. It is thus time for every country to introduce more technological equipped education center in the future. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to one and all present over here. Today I am going to explain the working of an ATM machine. An ATM automated teller machine enables the individuals to make banking transactions without the help of an actual teller. Also, the customers can avail banking services without having to visit a bank branch. Most ATM transactions can be availed with the use of a debit or a credit card. ATM accepts deposits and dispenses the cash. ATMs are activated by inserting cash or debit or credit card that contains the user's account number and PIN for cash withdrawals. Transfer of funds between linked bank accounts, receiving account balance, printing recent transactions list, changing your PIN, depositing your cash, prepaid mobile recharge, bill payments, and cash withdrawal are important features of ATM machine. The first ATM machine was opened on June 27, 1967 at a branch of Barclays Bank in London. Thank you.
My name is Tanisha Agrawal and today I will be speaking about the topic digital payment. As the Government of India has been taking several measures to promote and encourage digital payment in our country. As a part of the digital payment campaign, the government aims to create a digitally empowered economy that is faceless, paperless and cashless. There are various modes and types of digital payment. Some of these include the use of debit credit cards, UPI service, mobile banking, internet banking and a lot more. UPI, Unified Payment Interface. It is an instant real-time payment system which is developed by NPCI and regulated by Reserve Bank of India, which facilitates transfer of funds between two bank accounts on a mobile platform. It is a service provided by bank or other financial institution It allows its customers to conduct a financial transaction on a mobile platform, whereas internet banking is a system which is provided by bank or other financial institution that allows its customers to conduct the financial transaction.
Everyone, my name is Pat and my topic is flying cars. A flying car is a type of personal air vehicle or a roadable aircraft that provides door-to-door transportation by both ground and air. And the term flying car is also sometimes used to include hover cars. In early developments of flying cars, in 1936, Henry Ford displayed an elemental single-seat aeroplane that he called Sky Flivver. The project was abandoned after 2 years. Prototypes have been built since the earlier 20th century, using a variety of flights and technologies such as distributed propulsion. Some have true VTOL performance. PALF, Liberty Roadable Aircraft, targeted in 2021 to become the first flying aircraft in full production. Design of a flying car. A practical flying car must be capable of safe and reliable in an environmentally friendly operations, both in public roads and in air. For the widespread adoption, it must also be able to fly without qualified pilot at controls and come at affordable purchases for running costs. Appearance is often predicted by the futuristical with their failure even ever to reach the production, leading to catchphrases, "Where's my flying car?" Flying car are also popular theme fantasy in science fiction and stories. Light sports aircraft almost do share the characteristics with flying cars, since they provide seating capacity from 1 to 3 people. Although statistical commercial flying is much safer than driving, unlike commercial planes, personal flying cars might not have as much safety and their pilots would not be as well trained. Humans already have problems with aspects of driving in 2 dimensions. Adding in up and down aspects would make a driving or flying, it would be much more difficult. However, this is a problem might be solved via sole use and self-flying and self-driving cars. In mid-air collision, the mechanical failures aircraft could fall from sky or go through an emergency landing, resulting in deaths and problems.
I would like to explain. This is the mobile application through which you can book the your products. Like I have ordered a flower vase. So this is the delivery girl who is booking or placing your order into a box. And this is the delivery boy who is packaging your order into the truck. And through there, and you can also pay through card or cash payment. And the last part, your order is placed at your home. So at last, I would conclude that I have explained the advantages, the working and what is e-commerce. So e-commerce helps door-to-door step, and also in pandemic situation it has helped us a lot, as like JioMart or Amazon has started the grocery service too. So it is very beneficial to us nowadays, especially due to pandemic. It's advancing more and more. So people are liking it more. Mostly before pandemic it was not much at wider scale, but after the situation, so it's on a wider scale. I would like to conclude by saying thank you.
Welcome, and my name is Samu Thomas Kashpille, and I'm from class 11C, roll number 36. So I'll be talking about local businesses and e-commerce. Do they go well together? Let's find out. So the first point is e-commerce as a source for small businesses. So small businesses can buy goods from e-commerce site at discount and sell them. So an example for this is I bring 5 books, 480 rupees each, which will total up to 2400. But then I avail for e-payment and I get a discount of 250 rupees on the whole order. So when I get a discount of 240 rupees, my per piece discount is of 50 rupees. So a retail store can set the price tag for that book as 470 rupees and get a profit of 40 rupees. and then of course the customers will be happy to find the book for 470 locally than 480 on e-commerce site. So that's one of the advantages. The second one is small businesses can produce for e-commerce sites. So this is a new thing that has come, and we see ads all around of Snapdeal, Amazon and Flipkart that they have also promoted small businesses to register, and that the small businesses can sell their products on e-commerce site. So it is really enhancing this local businesses to produce and increase globalization, so that the local businesses can reach far more into India just by registering for it. So this was about my topic, local businesses and e-commerce and how they go well together. Thank you.
Dear teachers and friends, today I present to you my Nirmaan topic, back to the basics. This topic is very economical because it is based on one of the most economical subject. Why back to the basics? Back to the basics literally means we are back to square one of our ethics. Back to square one in a sense that what were our basic ethics taught? You come home, wash your hands, have a bath, and wash your clothes. That were our basic ethics. So as you see, the world is going through the global pandemic of COVID-19. So through this, we have learned that our basics have helped us a lot, because when now you normally go out, you do not come home, sit in the couch and lie down as if nothing happened, because it may kill you, and we are very sure of it. So today we are back to the basic as a sense, because now as you come home, you cannot do that your daily physical activity before the pandemic struck. So you have to come home, bathe, wash your clothes, wash your hands, then sit down for anything you are doing. This was the practice basically a long time ago. It was from practice for a very long time. We cannot clarify at what time, but it's a long practice. So as you can see, this was mostly practiced in rural India, and it's still practiced today. In this, we have, as you can see, in rural India, still people wash their hands, have baths in common wells, okay, and then we come to the point, why did people do it? They didn't know. There's a sense that why should we wash ourselves? Why should we wash our hands? As you can see, at the time, at olden times, basic occupation was farming. Farming was a labor-intensive and a physical-intensive exercise, and it used lot of physical work. So it meant you got your hand dipped in mud, sometimes your feet up to your knees sometimes. So at that time it was very necessary. You come home, you take a bath, you wash your hands, okay. And this was very necessary at that time, because you could get toe infections, skin infection, rashes, all sorts of dirt related diseases. So they didn't know, but it was, as said, no, that it was passed from family to family, generation to generation, this ethics. So as we explored that this ethics had been suppressed by the time, mostly because in urban cities, where are you working in sand, where are you working in mud? Why do you need this ethics? But as we can see that the pandemic has hit us, that's why we are back to square one of our ethics. So as you can see, now we come to some major photos. In this photo you can see rural people washing their hands. This is due to COVID, and this is as a normal practice as people have. And this is a rather modern photo of people washing their clothes, okay, after they came from work. And this is the photo, this is a little implemented now. As you can see, people are washing their clothes. But here they are waiting in queue to have their chance of washing clothes. And here you can see people are being
Good morning, one and all present over here. My name is Varun Sharma. Today I am going to represent my school. My school name is Niranjan Lal Dalmia High School. It was founded on July 4, 1991 by Niranjan Lal Dalmia Educational Society with sole objective to provide and promote excellence in education. School aims to nurture creativity and innovation with culture of self-development and responsibility for learning. The curriculum of school inculcates ethical and moral values. Today, I am going to present my topic for Nirmaan. My topic for Nirmaan is online versus offline. Offline education is also known as traditional education. It means students need to go to school to attend class face to face with the teacher. Whereas online education is very flexible learning system that allows a student to study via internet on their own computer at home. There are certain benefits of it like convenience, flexibility and time saving. But there are certain disadvantages like there is no interpersonal skill development and there is isolation and lack of competition. To make online education successful, our NL Dalmia Educational Institute uses certain applications like Google Classroom, Campus Care and Zoom so that education can go smoothly without any interruption. The first and the most application is Campus Care. Campus Care is essential for the smooth administration of any school equipped with modern day technologies such as data analytics and machine learning. Features of Campus Care are attendance tracking, online management, and most important, school curriculums and announcements are made on NTech portal. Second application is Google Classroom. It is used to streamline assignments, add content to assignments such as videos, PDFs, share video link, images from websites with students. Third and the most important application is Zoom. Zoom delivers everything you need for a sensational video conferencing. The video quality you get is excellent and the audio comes clearly. Some features of Zoom are we get multiple screen and can use whiteboard function to annotate project. It also have building tools for screen sharing, team chat for both group and one-on-one messaging. To take exams, our NL Dalmia Educational Institute uses Google Classroom and Zoom. The exam links are uploaded on Google Classroom with help of Zoom. Student gives exam and marks are uploaded on Google Classroom. According to UNICEF, monitoring 53 countries are currently implementing nationwide closures and 27 are implementing local closure, impacting about 61.6% of world student population. School closure impact not only students, teachers and families. In response to school closures, UNESCO recommended use of distance learning programs and open education application and platform that school and teachers uses to reach students remotely and limit the disruption of education. My school, NL Dalmia High School, has very successfully implemented online schooling. Thank you for watching.
Good morning everyone. So today my topic is on Amazon. As a coronavirus outbreak continues to limit the amount of brick shopping people around the world can do, more and more customers are turning to e-commerce as a solution to get the items they need and want. But that's turning out to be both a blessing and a curse for some online businesses. Online stores do not have a space constraints and a wide variety of products can be displayed on websites. It helps the analytical buyers to purchase a product after a good search. Customers can purchase items from their comfort of their own homes and workplace. Shopping is made easier and convenient for the customers through internet. One of the example of online shopping is Amazon. So basically Amazon is an American multinational technology company which is based in Seattle, Washington, which focuses on e-commerce, cloud computing, digital streaming and artificial intelligence. It is considered one of the big 5 industries along with Google, Apple, Microsoft and Facebook. The company has been referred to as one of the most influential economic and cultural forces in the world, as well as the world's most valuable brand. The Amazon company started as an online marketplace for books but expanded to sell electronics, softwares, video games, food, furniture, toys, and in 2015, Amazon surpassed Walmart as the most valuable retailer in the United States of market capitalization. In 2017, Amazon acquired Whole Food Market for US $13.4 billion, which substantially increased its footprint as a physical retailer. Amazon announced that its two-day delivery service, Amazon Prime, has surpassed 100 million subscribers worldwide. It is the world's largest online marketplace, AI registered provider, live streaming platform, and cloud computing platform measured by revenue and market capitalization. Amazon is the largest internet company by revenue in the world. It is the second largest private employer in the United States and one of the world's most valuable companies. Thank you.
Good morning to all. Today my topic is New York Stock Exchange. The New York Stock Exchange is nicknamed as the Big Board. It is an American stock exchange located at the 11 Wall Street in the financial district of Lower Manhattan, New York City. It is far by the world's largest stock exchange by the market capitalization of its listed companies at US dollars 30.1 trillion as far as concerned with the reports of February 2018. The average daily trading value was approximately 169 billion US dollars in 2013. The Nysc trading floor is at 11 Wall Street and it is composed of 21 rooms for the facilitation of trading. An addition trading room at 30 Broad Street was closed in February 2007. The main building and the 11 Wall Street building were designated National Historic Landmarks in 1978. The NYSE is owned by Intercontinental Exchange, an American holding company which also lists. Previously it was a part of NYSE Euronext, which was formed by NYSE's 2007 merger with Euronext. Thank you.
Hello, a very good morning to one more present here. My name is Pranay from 11C or the Commerce Section. I will take you to a tour around the BSE, also known as the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is the largest stock exchange present in India. As my topic suggests, that we will be going through a detailed information about the Bombay Stock Exchange. So firstly, let's see where is the Bombay Stock Exchange. Whereas, while Bombay Stock Exchange is most commonly associated with the Dalal Street in Bombay, it has a very tricky history behind it. So let's follow. I'll show you. The Bombay Stock Exchange, my dear friends, in 1850 it started. 5 stockbrokers came together under the Bombay Stock Exchange under a banyan tree. Yes, my dear friends, it was under a banyan tree that India's biggest stock exchange was founded. They came under a banyan tree at the Honolulu Circle. Next, they shifted their place to the Epsilon Road, as you can see all over here. The Esperanza Road, also known as the Meadows Street, which is now called the Mahatma Gandhi Road. Till now, it was again under a banyan tree because they were not yet an official broker company. Last but not the least, they got the broker company title in 1875 and they were known as the National Share and Brokers Association. And it was formed in 1875. Now, my dear friends, you may be very curious as to how does one have a share in a company or how does one buy a share? Well, now to those who have seen the movie The Scam of 1992, you are maybe very familiar with the chaotic phone calls over here, the calls, etc. Well, this is the 21st century, my dear friends. We don't do that. What we do is a laptop, a bag of chips, and your mouse and your brains. So, my dear friends, let's go to how do we buy shares online. The first step, my dear friends, is to get the financial knowledge. When you're entering a stock market, the stock market is a sea with opportunities if you know how to use your boat well. If you have the financial information, you can enter the stock market and make huge profits. The first step, always get your financial credentials right. The second step, my dear friends, is to choose a brokerage account, that is a demat account, my dear friends, and start investing in the stock market. Now for you all wondering what is a demat account? Well, my dear friends, a demat account is a system in the stock exchange which helps you keep your shares in a dematerialized form. Last but not least, my dear friends, you have to make a dummy portfolio. This portfolio will help you show how your shares are performing. Like in case if your shares fall, you will come to that immediately. Now, my dear friends, a very curious question which arises to that: if I invest in the stock exchange, what profit is it going to do to the economy? Well, my dear friends, there are many profits in the stock exchange. Let's follow me, man. Let's follow me. The first thing is the impact on the economy. It is an economic mirror. The stock exchange provides a mirror towards the economy. Anything which happens in the economy affects the stock exchange. If the economy is high, the stock exchange is wondrously performing. If the economy is low, the stock exchange goes down. Second, my dear friends, is public finance. If the government needs money or finance to make infrastructures, etc., the government will sell the bonds of the companies, of the public companies in the stock exchange and gain the money. Last but not the least, the stock exchange, my dear friends, serves as a source of proper investing. It helps in investment. For example, if you have extra cash in your house or extra money, invest it. You want to be rich? Make the money work for you. Don't work for the money. Now, you are maybe wondering, like, what are the risks in the stock exchange, right? If there is profit, there is a risk. And my dear friends, nothing could have been bigger than the risk which we face right now in this pandemic situation. That's right, my dear friends, the COVID-19 pandemic, the effect of the COVID-19 on the Bombay Stock Exchange. As you can see here, a comparison between the Nifty in Jan and in March. In Jan, it was 12,300, but in March, it came down to 7,000, a drop of almost 5,000 points. But however, it still raised back to 9,000. Next is Sensex, my dear friends. It was 41,000 something in March. It came down to only 35,000 in April. But then it again soared past the 31,000 mark in June. Which just goes to show us that even if the stock exchange may fall, when it rises, it can rise drastically. And that's where you make the big bucks. Now, last but not the least, the model of the Bombay Stock Exchange, how it looks. This is the model. As you can see, this is where all the big companies are listed, and this is where the shares are made and the shares are told. Last, my dear friends, if you are curious about where to invest in the company, look no further, just look here. Here we have the top 10 companies in the Bombay Stock Exchange at the moment. You can see their market cap. At the topmost, we have Reliance Industries with a market capital value in excess of 5 lakh crores, my dear friends. My dear friends, hope you liked it. That's it from me, Christopher. Thank you.